Hi, my dear friends. Today is day 11 of Self Love February. We will learn the art of making and keeping promises today. Promises are commitments to one and to others. When we make it, we show our genuine intent, and when we keep it, we mean that intent too. So first, we need to understand what does a promise means. So, promise, I will bifurcate this particular word into two, pro and misses. Okay, so pro means we are good at it, we are pro. Okay, so no one can do a task better than me for that particular domain. Okay, and misses means agreement. As per the Latin language or as per the Greek language, it means the agreement. So we agree to do something. So in a consolidated way, if we see the word promises, promises means that we are pro in making agreements. Okay, that's the meaning of this word, right? So now today, why we need to learn this art of making promises and keeping promises, not to the others, but to self as well, since we are talking about the self-love February. Okay. I want to ask you one thing today, and I want you to answer that very genuinely today. Okay, just reflect inside and answer that. When was the last time you made a promise to someone? Possibly this promise was that I will call you back, I will reach on time, I will handle your work, something like this, right? And whatever promise we make to others, we kept those promises. Why? Because someone is watching us. So we behave in a certain manner. Someone is witnessing our behavior. Okay. So this is called as an observer effect, which means we behave in a genuine way to someone else. Okay. Right. When we see that, like, for example, when we see the cameras around us, or when we see a traffic police guy on the signal, okay, so we behave in a very genuine way. We'll stop at the signal. But if no one is watching, we jump, we skip, or we run, right? Right? When we promise to someone else that that person is witnessing us as a person, so we keep our promises to avoid the loss of dignity or shame. But what happens when we make the promises to self? When was the last time you promised yourself that you will get up early and exercise? Think about it. That you will work, that you will study or meditate or whatever it is. And were you able to keep that promise up this consistently as you were promising to someone else? You just did this a couple of times, possibly whatever you promised, you did it a couple of times, and then started hitting the snooze button of the alarm and slept all over again with a promise that we will start this all over again tomorrow, which might not come probably. Now, I want you to understand this. Now, this is our behavior and this is the pattern. What we depict to others and what we depict to ourselves. Okay. I want you to understand the science behind it now. There are 8 limbs, Ashta Yoga, to yoga, okay, which help us in living a purposeful life. And one of the limbs is niyamas, right? The guidelines and the rules to a meaningful life. And one of the niyamas is tapas, that means tapasya. Okay, so one of the niyamas of yoga, which means self discipline, and it is the practice of being disciplined in all domains of our life. And discipline comes with promises, whether made to others or to one's own self. When we make a promise to ourselves, we promise to bring discipline to a domain of life which isn't doing well. So make a promise to bring it back on track with following steps. Steps to promise, or I'll do 1, 2, 3 things in order to get back on track. Okay. But what happens when we don't keep our promise? When we hit that snooze button, when we say that, okay, we'll start from tomorrow, and that tomorrow doesn't come, what happens then? Okay. When we don't keep our promises, we are giving a signal to our brain that we aren't serious, or you don't need to take us seriously. You don't, we are not to be trusted, And hence the ideas of transformation are just mere the words and hold no value. Now, do you see the observer effect? When people are watching you, you keep the promises. But when only you are watching yourself, you tend to break most of the promises you make to yourself. Think about it. These incidents stay in your muscle memory. Since it is happening almost every day and becomes a habit, which is reinforced to an extent that it becomes really difficult to break this. Okay? Because our CPU, brain, isn't recognizing these signals of transformation at all, because he's taking this as non-serious. He's not trusting you at all for whatever transformational ideas you are coming up with. In this case, we require all the more strength and effort to make our brain understand that, boss, we meant it. The observer effects comes back again. And now, even if someone is watching you, it doesn't bother to you and you break the rules, right? Now, observer effect, like I told you, it happens in 3 phases. One, that someone is watching and hence I'm behaving. When no one is watching, I'm just not behaving. And after some time, when it has become the habit that I'm not behaving, it doesn't matter at all that if someone is watching or not watching. So even now to the outer world, I'm just not keeping my promises. Okay. So how do we break this habit? There are 5 things which you can do in order to, and it is a cycle. Okay. The cycle needs to keep on going. Okay. So 5 things which you need to do. First, by being mindful. Start making and keeping small promises to oneself, like I will eat my breakfast before 10 a.m. And the moment we start keeping these small little promises, our brain starts recognizing the fact that, okay, it seems serious this time. So let's be watchful to this pattern. Gain clarity to your promises. Write it in detail somewhere. What exactly do you mean by this promise? Read it through every day. And what you can also do is you can record in your own voice and listen to that every day like an affirmation. And for this, you can use the voice tool of your mobile phone, of your laptop, or even you can download Audacity. It is an amazing tool, okay? Have a witness with you. So witness means having an accountability partner to your journey, to your transformation, who will hold you accountable so that observer effect is intact at the first place itself. You don't reach to the third level of it. Observe and reflect upon your feelings and thoughts. So you can have a mood board, like I told you earlier, also have a mood board. Okay. And the 5th and last stage of it is cultivate this pattern into your muscle memory every day. So it is like a cycle going on and on and on. Okay. So task for you today is you have to make 5 promises to yourself. The promises can be that you will focus on your physical health. You will focus on your mental health. You will choose your life battles wisely, where you need to fight and where you just need to let it go. It doesn't bother to you, right? You have to promise that you will make yourself a priority. You will promise to make yourself powerful by practicing determination. Okay? Please understand, promise is a muscle which you build over time. With every intent, you make it happen. I hope these words get into your brain, trigger some emotions out there, triggers a sensation of making a promise and keeping a promise too. I hope this somewhere make you understand how our brain works. And once you understand how your brain is working, you can actually revolve around the whole dynamics of it and lead to a transformation journey. Looking forward to have some aha moments there. Okay, share those aha moments with everyone. Sharing is caring also, and sharing से चीजें बढ़ती हैं, खुशियां बढ़ती हैं. ठीक है? So just double your happiness with sharing. I'm looking forward to your responses. Love you all.